In mid-2024, researchers from Harvard University published a paper with a terrifyingly simple premise. The advanced beings we call aliens aren't coming from outer space. They are already here, living permanently on Earth. According to Harvard's Human Flourishing Program, the intelligence behind unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UFOs, could be hiding deep inside our oceans, surviving miles beneath the Earth's crust, or even walking among us disguised as ordinary humans. This is the Cryptoterrestrial Hypothesis, a scientific framework suggesting that Earth hosts another advanced civilization, one that evolved right alongside us, or arrived millions of years ago, and chose to remain completely hidden from human eyes. For generations, the scientific consensus regarding advanced non-human intelligence was entirely focused on the stars. The assumption was that any craft displaying anti-gravity capabilities and hypersonic speeds must have crossed interstellar space to reach our atmosphere. The Harvard paper completely dismantled this assumption by looking at the sheer logistics of the universe. Interstellar travel requires unfathomable amounts of energy and time. Even traveling at a fraction of the speed of light, a journey between star systems takes decades. Yet, sightings of highly advanced craft in Earth's skies and oceans number in the thousands. These craft do not behave like weary travelers arriving from the outer solar system. They appear suddenly from low altitudes, rise violently out of the oceans, and vanish just as quickly. The simplest logistical explanation is that they are not commuting from a distant galaxy. They are commuting from unmapped regions of our own planet. The researchers systematically categorized the cryptoterrestrial concept into distinct evolutionary and historical pathways to explain how an advanced species could share our planet completely unnoticed. The first pathway proposes the existence of human cryptoterrestrials. This concept attacks the linear narrative of human history, which claims our species marched in a straight line from cave-dwelling hunter-gatherers to modern spacefaring humans. Instead, human civilization might be deeply cyclical. An ancient, highly advanced human civilization could have existed tens or hundreds of thousands of years ago. When faced with a planetary cataclysm, such as a massive asteroid impact, rapid pole shift, or devastating climatic changes, this civilization did not entirely perish. A remnant population survived by retreating into specialized, highly protected environments. Over the ensuing millennia, while the rest of surface-dwelling humanity essentially restarted from primitive beginnings, this remnant civilization continued to advance technologically in complete isolation. Thousands of years of uninterrupted technological progress would easily yield the seemingly impossible flight characteristics we now observe in our skies. The second pathway moves entirely away from Homo sapiens, suggesting the existence of hominid or theropod cryptoterrestrials. Evolutionary biology tells us that the development of life is a vast branching tree, not a single ladder leading exclusively to modern humans. It is entirely plausible that another branch of terrestrial life developed advanced intelligence millions of years before our ancestors even learned to walk upright. This could be a parallel hominid species that outpaced our ancestors in cognitive development and chose isolation to protect itself from our aggressive, rapidly expanding populations. Alternatively, it could be an offshoot of a completely different biological lineage. For instance, a species of highly intelligent theropod dinosaurs might have survived the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event 66 million years ago by retreating underground or deep underwater. If a terrestrial species had a 60 million year head start on human technological development, their biology and machinery would be utterly unrecognizable to us, indistinguishable from magic or extraterrestrial technology. A third pathway bridges the gap between deep space and Earth, proposing what the researchers call former extraterrestrials. Under this model, an advanced intelligence did indeed arrive from the cosmos, but they did so millions of years in the distant past. They did not come merely to observe and leave. They came to colonize and stay. Earth became their permanent home. Over immense stretches of geological time, they adapted to the planet, built their infrastructure in places completely immune to surface weathering and geological turnover, and became as native to Earth as any other biological organism. They are not visiting us. We simply evolved on a planet they had already claimed. The physical reality of our planet provides ample space for these civilizations to exist undisturbed. The Harvard paper forces us to confront our profound ignorance of Earth's geography. The planet is covered primarily by water, and the deep oceans remain one of the most mysterious and unexplored of frontiers in modern science. We possess more detailed topological maps of the surface of Mars and the Moon than we do of our own abyssal seafloor. The abyssal plains, deep-sea trenches, and vast underwater mountain ranges offer billions of cubic miles of completely unmonitored territory. Military personnel and naval aviators have frequently reported transmedium craft, objects that transition seamlessly between the atmosphere and the ocean without losing speed or altering their shape. High-profile military encounters frequently involve objects that mirror the movements of fighter jets before plunging directly into the Pacific Ocean without producing a splash, a wake, or any thermal signature. Sonar operators on military submarines have tracked objects moving at hundreds of knots underwater, maneuvering in ways that would crush any known human submersible technology through sheer hydrostatic pressure. If an advanced civilization resides on Earth, the deep ocean is the ultimate defensive shield. The immense hydrostatic pressure, freezing temperatures, and total absence of sunlight create a natural barrier that human technology is only just beginning to physically breach. A civilization possessing advanced materials engineering and limitless energy generation could easily construct sprawling permanent habitats in the walls of oceanic trenches or clustered around mineral-rich geothermal vents. The miles of ocean water above them provide perfect insulation from cosmic radiation, surface cataclysms, and the prying lenses of human satellites. They could conduct their daily operations entirely beneath the waves, only occasionally breaching the surface to monitor our activities, particularly our naval exercises and our testing of advanced weaponry. Beyond the deep oceans, the researchers pointed to the subterranean realm as another highly probable sanctuary. The Earth's crust is incredibly thick, and human deep mining and drilling operations have barely scratched the outermost layer of the lithosphere. The deepest hole ever drilled by humanity reached just over 7 miles down, representing a microscopic fraction of the planet's total depth. Beneath our feet lies an unimaginably vast network of deep crustal geology, much of which could theoretically support vast cave systems, subterranean aquifers, or artificially excavated caverns on a massive scale. Humanity relies heavily on ground-penetrating radar and satellite imaging to understand the world, but these technologies cannot see through miles of solid granite and basalt. Subterranean cities could exist deep within the crust, powered by ambient geothermal energy and completely isolated from the surface biosphere. This theoretical framework heavily aligns with extensive mythological and indigenous histories from around the globe. Numerous ancient cultures maintain deeply rooted traditions of subterranean dwellers who emerged from the earth to share agricultural knowledge or warn early humanity of impending natural disasters. While modern science has historically dismissed these stories as primitive folklore or psychological archetypes, the Cryptoterrestrial Hypothesis frames them in a radically new literal light. These historical accounts might be early human records of brief, intentional contacts with the planet's older subterranean inhabitants. Living miles deep underground provides the exact same protective benefits as the deep ocean. A civilization residing deep beneath the surface is entirely immune to the cyclical destructions that plague the surface world. Ice ages, solar micronovas, meteor impacts, and nuclear wars mean absolutely nothing to a society protected by miles of solid rock. They could have watched the surface world burn and freeze dozens of times over millions of years, secure in their subterranean sanctuaries, occasionally venturing out to survey the recovering landscape and monitor the new flora and fauna that emerge after each extinction-level event. The most unsettling proposition within the Harvard paper is not that these entities live in the dark, unreachable corners of the planet, but that they might be walking actively among us. The idea of an advanced intelligence integrating into human society requires a profound rethinking of both biology and technology. If a cryptoterrestrial species shares a common genetic ancestry with humanity, as the remnant ancient human or advanced hominid variants suggest, their physical appearance might not be radically different from our own. Minor physiological differences could easily be concealed with conventional clothing or minor surgical alterations. They could operate within human cities, observing our sociological and technological progression from the inside out. However, if they do not resemble us physically, integration would require advanced cloaking technologies or deeply sophisticated psychological manipulation. An intelligence millions of years more advanced than our own would possess a flawless understanding of human neurology, optics, and perception. They would not necessarily need a physical, Hollywood-style disguise if they possess the capability to manipulate the human visual cortex or the cognitive processes that recognize faces and environmental threats. They could move through heavily populated areas, cloaked by localized light-bending fields that render them optically invisible. More terrifyingly, they could utilize cognitive camouflage. The human brain constantly filters out massive amounts of sensory data to prevent us from becoming overwhelmed. An advanced species could emit frequencies or electromagnetic signals that cause the human brain to simply ignore their presence. They might be standing directly in front of us, fully visible to a purely objective camera lens, but our biological brains are instructed, either technologically or telepathically, to edit them completely, out of our conscious awareness. We would look right through them, our minds filling in the blind spot with background scenery. The logistics of an entire civilization maintaining absolute secrecy on a crowded, hyper-connected planet seem daunting, but this is a uniquely human projection. We assume that an advanced civilization would leave a massive, detectable footprint because human civilization is incredibly noisy and dirty. We leave behind massive amounts of atmospheric pollution, blast radio emissions into space, and build sprawling, physically invasive megastructures. This is merely a symptom of our clumsy, resource-heavy phase of industrialization. A truly advanced society would have moved past combustion, resource depletion, and easily interceptable radio wave communication hundreds of thousands of years ago. Their energy generation might rely on zero-point energy or advanced contained fusion, producing absolutely zero waste and zero detectable thermal emissions. Their communications networks might utilize quantum entanglement, an instantaneous transfer of information that leaves no electromagnetic signals for our satellite networks or listening posts to intercept. Their structures and vehicles might be built from advanced metamaterials that perfectly absorb sonar, radar, and LiDAR, rendering their underwater cities and aerial craft entirely invisible to our modern military instruments. They are undetected, not because they are magical, but because their technological baseline operates on physics we have not yet discovered. This hypothesis forces a radical, uncomfortable reevaluation of human identity and our place in the natural order. We have built our entire global society, our religions, and our scientific models on the fundamental, unquestioned assumption that Homo sapiens is the undisputed apex intelligence on Earth. We view ourselves as the sole proprietors of this planet, the masters of its resources, and the highest peak of its long evolutionary history. We believe we are alone at the top of the hierarchy. The Harvard paper systematically challenges this absolute supremacy. If the Cryptoterrestrial Hypothesis is accurate, we are not the owners of Earth. We are merely the most vocal, visible, and destructive tenants. We occupy the surface crust, the most volatile, exposed, and dangerous zone of the planet, subject to extreme weather, cosmic radiation, and total ecological collapse. Meanwhile, the true masters of the Earth might be quietly observing us from the absolute safety of the deep oceans and the deep lithosphere. They tolerate our loud presence, study our explosive, often violent technological growth, and occasionally intervene when our actions threaten the overall stability of the planet. This shared planet dynamic casts the persistent interest that unidentified craft show in human military installations into a completely new light. For decades, military records have shown advanced craft hovering over nuclear missile silos, tailing nuclear-powered submarines, and observing carrier strike groups. If an extraterrestrial species visits Earth from another star system, our nuclear weapons are a mere curiosity, a primitive danger we pose to ourselves. But if a cryptoterrestrial species shares this exact planet with us, our nuclear weapons are a massive, direct, and immediate threat to their home. A global thermonuclear war would not just wipe out human cities, it would severely irradiate the oceans, poison the global atmosphere, and fundamentally alter the planetary biosphere that the cryptoterrestrials also rely upon. Their intense, constant surveillance of our nuclear capabilities is not the detached observation of a curious cosmic scientist. It is the anxious, defensive monitoring of a dangerous, heavily armed, and highly unpredictable neighbor. When craft disable human nuclear launch codes, as has been reported by military whistleblowers at bases like Malmstrom Air Force Base, they are not sending us a philosophical message about peace. They are actively disarming a localized threat to their own planetary real estate. The Harvard researchers acknowledged that the scientific community heavily stigmatizes theories involving hidden civilizations. The modern scientific method requires repeatable, physically measurable evidence, which is exactly what a highly intelligent, elusive, and technologically vastly superior species would actively prevent us from obtaining. However, the sheer overwhelming volume of unexplained, multi-sensor military radar data, visual sightings by trained aviation observers, and physical trace evidence demands a theoretical framework that actually fits the observed behaviors of the phenomenon. Ignoring the data because the implications are uncomfortable is a failure of the scientific process. When objects demonstrate the physical ability to manipulate localized gravity, travel at Mach 20 without generating thermal friction or sonic booms, and operate seamlessly in the vacuum of space, the lower atmosphere, and the deep ocean, we must ask where such technology is manufactured. There are no known deep space staging areas within our solar system. There is no steady, observable stream of incoming interstellar traffic from Alpha Centauri or the Zeta Reticuli system. The objects are here, the evidence suggests they have always been here, and they consistently retreat to extreme environments on this exact planet that human beings cannot easily access or monitor. The 2024 Harvard paper on the Cryptoterrestrial Hypothesis forces us to lower our gaze from the stars and examine the shadows of our own world. It demands that we acknowledge how little we actually know about the Earth beneath our feet and the oceans that cover it. The advanced intelligence we have spent a century searching for in the vastness of space may have been silently listening to us the entire time, hidden in the crushing depths of the Marianas Trench, echoing through the hollows of the Earth's crust, or walking quietly among the crowds of our greatest cities. The answers to the greatest mystery in human history do not require a telescope. They require us to look closer to home.